Hey guys, Jessica from Peterson SEO. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. I know for some reason the phone was kind of cracking up. I do apologize for that, but I do appreciate you speaking with me and accepting this free video. So today I just want to go over just a few tips that you can start applying today that is going to help you start bringing in new jobs each and every month, okay? So first we'll start where the customer starts, and that's on Google. Now, a customer is going to start with a keyword search. When they're having issues or need a service, most times they don't know who you are or what your brand is. They're not going to search your business name. They're going to search their services. So whether that's water damage restoration Seattle or asbestos removal Seattle, that's what they're going to be searching, okay? And it is your job to put your business in front of your customers so that they can find you for your services and call you so that you can have book jobs every single month. Now, there are three areas on Google that a business can be positioned in the first spots for. Okay, the first is going to be Google Ads. This is your Google cost per click ads and local service ads. About 10% of people actually click through on those. The next section is your Google business profile. Now, your goal is to be in the top three for your Google business profile for each of your services and keywords in your service area, because 30% of people go straight here and will contact these top three companies. If you're not one of them, you're leaving tons of jobs and money on the table and you're sending them to your competition. Okay. Now, this is a very fluid section. It's continuously moving. So you don't want to just create a profile and set it and forget it. You do have to optimize it, get it into the top, and optimize and work on it every month. Your Google business profile is extremely important. And one of the top ways to get into the top three position is something called citations, which is basically like directory listings. So you're going to put the name of your business, your address, phone number, and website on a bunch of those directories like Yellow Pages, Yelp, and Glassdoor. And you need more of those than your competition. Generally speaking, those in the top three have have about at least 150 of those. So you want to make sure that you have more than they have. And then each month you need to make sure that you have more photos, you're adding updates, etc. And then the next portion here, this is the organic section. This is the most important section because 60 to 70% of people will skip everything else and come here. So you need to be listed here on the first page of Google for your keywords for each of your services. Not just your home page, but you want to come up for your services as well. So how do you do that? Well, in order to do that and be in the top of organics, you have to have your website properly built and optimized in order to do that. You guys have a nice looking website, which is great. You have separate pages for each of your services, which is awesome. I highly recommend it. This is something you have to do, absolutely. You do have a click to call phone number, which is great. You need to make it as easy as possible for your customers to navigate throughout your website, click to call. You need forms up at the top, tons of calls to action throughout your website. Um, but also, Google doesn't rank websites just based on appearance. Even though this looks good, it's based off of content. So what is content exactly? Those are your photos. So this is good. You have 4 aces, asbestos removal. So that's good. The only thing you're missing is location. You need to be using local keywords. Not near me, but local. So make sure that you're going after those Seattle based keywords for each of your services, and understand that each keyword usually has multiple variations. You want to capitalize on that. Um, but your content on your website has to be built around those keywords. And so the content is not just photos and videos, but also this written content. This is what tells Google who you are, what you do, what you're about. But Google cannot find keywords if you don't have them. And so you have to build that content around those local keywords. You need 150 words for each keyword that you're going to target. And you're going to have the repetition of that exact match keyword. If not, Google's still not going to know that you are trying to target that as a keyword. So you have to have the repetition. You have to have the content. Your homepage is one of the most critical pages of your website. So it does need a ton of content. At least a summary of your major services and about your business focused on those keywords. Generally, rule of thumb is around 1,500 keywords or more. You're always going to need more than your competition. And because you service multiple areas, you also need service area pages for each of these services. So that is going to allow you to build out your content, focus on keyword strategy for each service that you offer in each area that you service. So that's going to be really, really important for you guys. If we look at your top competitor, sorry, I'm on a different page. If we look at your top competitor, we have Fisher Restoration, another great site. They have the separate pages for each of their services. They've got the click-to-call numbers. They have some really great content focused on those keywords. A lot of the interlinking pages, which is important. They have this important FAQ section, which is really, really helpful. And then they've got all these service area pages, if it will load here, sorry. They have all these service area pages as well that allows them to target those areas for their services. If we take a look at Ahrefs here, this is a paid tool we use to tell your website is performing. It looks like you have an error code going on with your website. You have a website score of a 1.8 out of 100 in Google's trust flow, meaning Google does not trust your website. That does have to do with the website content and the structure, but more importantly, what type of power you're pushing to your website to give it that authority, okay? And so you need backlinks. You need a lot of backlinks. You need more than your competition, but not all backlinks are created equal. You want backlinks that are most related to your business and the services that you offer. You don't want links that don't matter. You don't want links from a bakery when you're in restoration. Those will actually hurt you more than they will help, and they will push your score down like that. So you don't want a bunch of spammy links. A referring domain is any website that provides your website with a link from their site to your site, and the backlink is that physical link coming from the other site. So if you've ever been on a website page and you see a hyperlink in blue and you click on it and it takes you somewhere else, that's a backlink. Okay, so think of this powering your website like you needing to power up your favorite tool. Before you can use that tool, it needs a power source. So you're going to plug in that tool to a power source, which is a referring domain. And then the referring domain power source pushes power through that cord, which is like a backlink, to fire up your tool and give your tool power. So that's how your website gets the power, how Google is going to help push you up. But you have to have keywords to be found for your services, and you only have an index for 4, you get 0 people to your website. If we look at your keywords, you don't really have, you have 0 keywords that are actually ranking, and none of your money keywords. Nothing for your water damage, asbestos, or anything like that. So You definitely need to work on your keyword and content strategy because you're missing out on a ton of jobs each and every month. If you if we look at Fishers, they have a score of 19 out of 100 with 400 backlinks. So you're going to need more than they have and better quality. But because of all the pages and all the content, they've been indexed for over 400 keywords. So they're getting over 600 people each and every month to their website. And if we look at their keywords, they have really good local keywords with tons of volume. Water damages Seattle is 500 volume by itself, and they are ranked number 2. So this is tons of potential customers you are missing each and every month. Is Fisher beatable? Yes, but it will take time. But you can definitely be competing with him. Get to a point that you're able to compete. So hopefully you found this information helpful. If you apply all these tips I've given you, your website has an awesome opportunity to be found for each of your services and to start dominating in certain areas. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are here to help. Thanks a lot for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.